Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 1806. I am your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Podcastro Valley Ton today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I'm singing to you because we're here at the last place on earth in Mike's Daily Podcast, and it's a great day because I think there were some things that I tried to say in the last show, and basically to sum up, because I didn't sum up in the last show, so I'm summing it up right now. PRX sucks. PRX is a ridiculous thing. Don't ever use it. Okay, now that being said, let's
Mike's Daily Podcast
tell you that today we're going to talk about relaxation and about how that you have
Mike's
so much in your life
Daily
going on. Like, let's say
Podcast.
you're preparing to do the Academy Awards.
Yeah!
You're going to be on the Academy Awards because your name is Meryl Streep. And you need a little relaxation time now. You need a little bit of time for yourself. Well, actually, stress is good for you. I think too much in our world, we're like, oh, you can't have stress. No stress. Stress is bad. Stress is No, you know what? Try. You know how a vacation, like the first week's nice. Let's say it's a little bit longer. Second week, you start going, wait a minute. Didn't I have something to do? Third week, you're going, wait, I'm bored, and I know there's something I have to do, and what am I missing? There's something I'm missing. What do I need? So I think stress, we have to watch out for distress, where we're so stressed it hurts us, where we don't sleep, so we get sick. The main thing is sleep. The main thing is, I know we got to make money. And we go, I need to do this, and this during my day to make money, to pay the bills, and then I don't have time to sleep, and then you don't, and then you get sick. Oh, and now you're buying medicine, now you're buying drugs to keep you awake, to keep you from being sick, and it's a vicious circle.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's my point, it's a vicious circle. Oh, look at this wonderful picture with my lovely lady friend and I over at the boardwalk in Santa Cruz. We finally made it out there. It was her birthday, and we were there. It was last weekend, and they just had all that rain and a bunch of driftwood everywhere out, because they've got this all these little rivers that head out, like that Capitola River I was telling you about a couple podcasts ago. So there we were, enjoying some nice two young ladies were chatting away. And my lovely lady friend said, excuse me. And she has the most polite excuse me voice. My lovely lady friend, just excuse me. Could you take a picture of us? And one of the girls was like, yes, I will take a picture of you. Basil was not in the picture, though. Basil, unfortunately, had to stay in the car because of the boardwalk. Well, so I had heard rules that you can't have dogs on the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, because it's basically an amusement park. It's a privately owned place and location. And my dog, I would have taken my dog walking there, but as I've told you before, my dog has issues walking. His back legs. He's getting the hip dysplasia, and he's getting that other thing that boxers get where it's a myelopathy, where a dystopic myelopathy or something to that effect, where I think I don't mean to sniff on my podcast, but I just had to at that point. You can feel free to sniff as well. So he can't it's harder and harder for him to walk with his back legs. So I have to do a lot of bending over to help him walk. And then that means I have to strengthen my core, because when you're bending over all the time to help your dog walk, it's a little bit of stress on your back. It's not the best thing. So I need to do more crunches, I think what it is. Not sit-ups. See, this is the thing. Let's discuss this. Sit-ups. Are they good or bad? Now, I have heard that because when you do a sit-up, you're basically, in order to actually do a sit-up, to get up and sit up, you sometimes end up working muscles that you shouldn't be, and you hurt your back. That's why they say the crunch, when you do a crunch where you're just sort of lying there, and then ever so, I'm not probably going to describe this absolutely correctly. The other Michael Matthews, the one that's like buff, Mr. Buff young guy who's got a bunch of books that he put out, and he's Mr. Buff. He would probably be able to describe this better than the Mike Matthews who does Mike's Daily Podcast, Mike H. Matthews. But I do know you have to lift your shoulders up slightly, your neck up slightly, and you're focusing on your core, on your stomach, on your abdomen, and tightening those muscles for a long period. I have been told, and what I find works is as long as you can hold it, and then relax, back to relaxing, and then do it again. So I'm not saying get a personal trainer and spend money on this so that you do it correctly, because I think personal trainers, personally, are a waste of time. Because they basically, this information can be, you can get credible information on the web, on the internets, and by the way, stop saying www. All you people out there that say www in your whatever, your commercials, in your magazine articles, in your podcasts or your video cast or whatever, you look so freaking old when you say www. Stop it. That was all cool and everything. Oh, the one I hate is dub. Oh, gosh. That has to stop. So don't. We all know if you say a .com at the end, or .org, or .net, whatever now, because there's a bunch of dots, you're fine. So, crunch once in a while is what I'm saying. Help that core. And I need to do that more often, because I am helping my dog walk. So this lovely lady friend and I at the boardwalk in the podcast picture is what I'm trying to say. You can see that now at MikesDailyPodcast.com, where you can also see the myriad of places that you can listen to this show. So many places now. And I was the first podcast, I'm just going to say this blanket statement, that really pushed all the different platforms, because I like the fact that there are people trying to say, hey, there are a myriad of ways to listen to podcasts. If you tell me, oh yeah, I got a podcast and it's on iTunes, I'll say to you, okay, and because as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, I didn't download iTunes to my Android phone. It's a waste of space. On my Android phone, the Android phone default for podcasts is Google Play. So why don't you tell me that I can download your podcast or listen to your podcast on Google Play? Well, a lot of people don't even realize there's a Google Play. Still, they just think podcasts, iTunes. And yes, basically Apple did invent the podcast, because Apple invented the iPod, and from iPod we get podcasts. But at the same time, there are now so many different apps that can play your podcast if you have a podcast. Just that little bit of info to all you podcasters out there that might be listening to Mike's Daily Podcast, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, 10, and the last place on earth, cafe anyway. All that to say, you need to relax. And don't spend your money on a personal trainer. Don't spend your money. Okay, once in a while, spend your money on a spa. Spend your money on a massage, a legal type massage. But in the right amount, an adrenaline rush of stress can power you through a long day and boost your workouts and more. Kind of like when you're being chased by a lion, that can get you to run a little faster. In the end, you need to, with all that stress, to relax. And in this article that I found from the Huffington Post, there are ways to relax, and it doesn't tell me. Health benefits of relaxation. I just had to click, ladies and gentlemen. I had to click. Let's go to this article that I wanted to tell you about. I was so excited. I talked about it for 8 podcasts, and it turns out that they have it's a clickbait thing. And I see a heart. I see someone sneezing. I don't even know what the heck. All right. So I guess the benefits of relaxation is not being told to me by the HuffPost. All right. I know a way to stop distress is to don't ever click on anything from the Huffington Post, because now I'm looking at a bunch of pictures like of a cloud and stuff and someone reading a book. Hey, did you know I almost worked in Colorado Springs? I had a job opportunity in Colorado Springs over 10 years ago. And I say that now because as I look outside here at Cafe Anyway, I see the wonderful Mount Diablo. And it reminds me of Pikes Peak. And in Colorado Springs, at the radio station that I would have gotten to work at, had I chosen to work there, I would have seen Pikes Peak from the studio. But from Cafe Anyway, now I see Colorado Springs. Sometimes to relax, you need to look out at a mountain, to look out at the horizon. It calms you. It relaxes you. Academy Awards, not relaxing. I'll tell you why. I get stressed out when those people are talking and they're thanking everybody, a bunch of people that I don't know and I don't care about. And 9 times out of 10, I haven't even seen their stupid movie. And then they start playing the music and they're still talking. And I'm thinking, why isn't this guy shutting up? What? And then I feel stressed for the people that are doing the award show. And I feel stressed for the guy because he wants to thank people. It's just too much. I can't watch the Academy Awards anymore. It's a source of stress. Look who's here. Hello, my commercials, Madame Rootabega, your lovely lady friend. My lovely lady friend, she's not here at Cafe Anyway today. Oh, that's too bad. Ooh. Yes, she's a big fan of yours. I know. Hey, my lovely lady friend and I watched some Doctor Who last night. We watched the Matt Smith season, the first season that he was in. And the Ginge, Karen Gilliam was on that before she got all popular from Guardians of the Galaxy, playing is it the blue girl or the green girl? One of the sister of Zoe Saldana. Yes, so we have been enjoying that together, relaxing that way. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Hey, guys. You know, a great way to relax sometimes is the right type of company. The right type of friends. For that, I say spend a little money. I'm invited to a get-together on Wednesday evening, and I'm going to buy a bottle of wine. And I'm going to buy a bottle of wine that will cause a conversation to happen. Perhaps it will have to do with the location that the wine was made. Perhaps it'll be because I bought a really cheap bottle of wine and they're going to go, Mike, what the hell, you cheapskate? No, I'm going to buy a decently priced bottle of wine and I'm going to talk with my friend. We'll open up a conversation. We'll discuss Livermore or Napa, or perhaps the wine comes from elsewhere. And then we'll drink it and the wine will cause us to relax even further. Red wine goes to my head. And of course, it's got the antioxidants that you so need in your health, in your life. Okay, we covered a little money talk, a little health talk, a little happy talk. I hope you enjoyed it. A little stress talk, de-stressing talk. Don't distress, de-stress. But don't completely de-stress because you need a little stress to make your life good. Okay, did we get it all out there? Good. I would like to apologize for the last show. I ranted a bit too long about PRX, how much I hate PRX, and how much I hate that guy who does that sound and music podcast radio show. And part of it is because I listened to that show for a long time, and that guy used to talk. So the guy that was on a national public radio show yesterday, heard on 80 gazillion radio stations, was talking about how he really didn't say anything. All it was is R. Kelly went to jail yesterday or the day before in Chicago, was it? And so this guy is a Chicago music critic, so they got him, and he talked about how he's been following the case for a long time, but he didn't add anything new. All he just pointed out was, yeah, this guy was a successful R&B singer, and now he's in jail because he did a lot of bad, stupid, horrible things with women. So, and young women at that. So, I just thought, why is this guy even on the radio, on a national radio station? Is part of that a little bit of jealousy that I wish I was on national radio? Yeah, but then I don't think national radio likes my personality. I don't think they like the Mike Matthews personality. That's their loss. Their loss. But the other thing I forgot to mention, and I mentioned it to my lovely lady friend later on in the day, was that the one thing that really irked me about this guy that does the Sound and Music podcast is he talks about Bob Dylan all the time. He loves frickin' Bob Dylan so much. We get it. Bob Dylan wrote a bunch of songs. He was important in the 60s. Why are you talking about him now? Stop it. What about all the other folk singers from that era? Your Pete Seegers, your Joan Baez. And I'm not even scratching the surface. Good God. Bob Dylan, take a chill pill. But people get so... That and the Grateful Dead, oh my God. We got it. Okay. Ugh. Hey, what did I listen to today? And I was... Oh, Billy Joel's Piano Man came on as I wrap up the show. I was at the radio station that I work for, and a Piano Man came on, and I thought to myself, my mom bought me this album. And the album had been out for years at that point. So she bought it for me in 86. The Piano Man album, I think it's just called Piano Man, came out in 77, 78. So it had already been out a long time. Billy Joel's voice had changed quite a bit since that album came out, because he was a young man when that came out. And I remember my mom telling me, hey, you know, the reason why I bought this album for you is because the guy at the record store recommended it to me. So I have that guy to thank at a record store for getting me into Billy Joel. Some guy, I had no idea who really Billy Joel was until this guy at some record store, I think it was Sam Goody, record stores, which for the most part don't exist anymore, except for the really cool classic ones that still exist in parts of San Francisco and other big cities. And support your local record store if you can. Yeah. So that thought occurred to me as I was listening to that Billy Joel song. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good week. We'll try and do another podcast for you tomorrow. And you can support the show by listening to Mike's Daily Podcast, or go to the podcast website, MikesDailyPodcast.com. And here's Ariel with more info on that. And you can call me at 336MM Daily.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.